even right now off the top of my head, every now and again, I love it when something happens that I'm not ready for it at all. And as you know, Pete, I've got stacks of them. But I remember one in particular, a lady that came. I was talking about this last night. That's why we're having this discussion right now. That's why it's come to my mind. And I told him this story. And it was interesting because the person I was talking to was a skeptic. I like that. I love talking to skeptics. They're absolutely great, aren't they? Um, and so I said, I'm going to tell you a story that you won't believe. Or you might believe the story, but you won't believe there's any truth in it. And that's okay. But it's some of the things that can happen and some of the things we have to do and go along with it. No, I could have told him better stories that would have completely wiped away his skepticism. I think. I truly believe that would have happened. I chose this one because it's like an intrusive thought. It just came to me in the moment. And it's about this woman. I think I can say the name and get away with it because I'm not saying the full name. I'm not saying where. But her name was Margaret. And she'd started in her 60s. She started drinking wine late at night and smoking cigarettes. A big deal. She's going to see a clinical hypnotist. I can understand that. We'll see if we can get it sorted. Interesting thing about Margaret was she's never drunk and she's never smoked. And she doesn't even know why she went to Tesco's last week. But she's going down most nights now to top up her cigarettes and make sure there's at least, if you're ready for this, a non drinker, at least 2 bottles of wine a night. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Good boy like me, I can handle 2 bottles of wine a night very, very easily. For most people, that's just not on. So we did this stuff, and she was a really good subject. And I managed through the Swan to get to the part. And the part was a family member who had been an alcoholic, a heavy smoker, and was terminally ill with a cancer. She had been a former nurse, and the family asked her to care for him in his last days. And she did. And he came through and spoke to me. Hello, how are you? Well, I'll tell you what happened. So I've got all this information from him. And she's lying there just like that, the side. And but the thing is, he says, she knows I'm a former alcoholic. I was an alcoholic at the time. I'm an alcoholic now. And I like it, Ram. And at night time, I didn't go into for the heavy stuff, but I like that. I like a few glasses of wine. I'm getting on a bit now. And I like the cigarette. But she wouldn't let me smoke. She took all the cigarettes out of the house, and I'm bedridden, and I wouldn't get any alcohol. I'm dying, man. I'm dying. And if I was in a hospice, I'm told they would give me alcohol and they let me have the cigarettes, which is true. I think it happens in England as well. It certainly happens in Scotland. I've seen my brother getting. In fact, in Oxford, the nurses were great. They wheeled my brother in his bed outside to have a fag, and they gave him a rum and pep at night. How about that? Absolutely beautiful nurses. Anyway, he wasn't getting anything. So what he said was, and I'm paraphrasing ever so slightly here, Pete, but he says, what I discovered was at a certain time, at the end of a day, her mind goes into this relaxed state, and I can manage to nip in there. And I can get her to go to Tesco for wine and fags. And I'm sitting there thinking, what do I ever tell anybody this story? Expect them to believe me in any way, shape, or form. Surely, I've known this woman from before. I can't see how she would be lying to me, telling me this. Okay, she could be completely crazy, bless her, and well, maybe work on that. How's that? Anyway, we did the business, and he's not leaving. Everybody who does this kind of work will be able to relate to this. Certainly, the ones of a more spiritual nature. When we do the bit, hey, look over your shoulder, look for the light, walk into the light. You'll see your loved ones waiting for you. Well, guess what I discovered over the years, Pete? That shit works. Yeah, people say that for a reason. It's because that works a lot of the time. And that's what I did. And the guy just says to me, no, I never liked it. I never liked my wife, to be honest with you. It was okay the first couple of years after that was shit. Never got on with my parents. And I really never had much friends. And no, I don't want to go into any light and see anybody. I want to be here with her, nighttime, fags, booze. It's okay. And after a long, long discussion, we agreed that he would try it. And they would be waiting on the other side to do things that he would enjoy. It would be like this, and everything would be fine. And off he went, and she stopped drinking, and she stopped smoking, and everything was fine for about a month. Then I get a phone call. Can I see you again? Get down and see her. And there he is. Hello there, Bob. How are you? You back again? Yeah, just didn't like it really, to be honest with you. And Jesus, the end of the story should be where I get to say, and he went into the light, and there he found love, and it goes on. So if I was making the story up, Pete, that's where I would be going. That's my story. We put a full stop on that, but it wasn't. I was even thinking, that's a shit end to this story. And I'm feeling miserably. Well, we did more sessions. We did some other work. He went back into that place. I contacted other parts from that place. They came through, said they take care of him, and she got better. But wonderful. Yeah, I mean, there's no job quite like this, is there? I've had lots of jobs. None of them have been quite like this. This is a real fun thing to be doing, and quite fascinating. So yes, here we go again. Here comes that term. You ready for it, Pete? It's real or it's imagined. Yeah, or it's even a lie. That can
Hmm.
happen as well. I've been played by some great people in the big share. They've really tried playing me for reasons only best known to themselves. But there you go.